Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ruth the Crafter Mom. Today we're gonna do a flip through the books that I read in the month of March. And this is a collaboration with Knit Planches. So if you wanna check out her video, I will put it in the link below. And if you wanna check this video too also, just stay here. Okay, first I have a disclaimer. I have a very loud neighbors upstairs. I really don't know what they're doing, and I apologize for the noise that we may have. And also, I have two kids. They are having a play date / sleepover tonight. So yeah, we should hear both of them giggling, every so often, but it is what it is. And my neighbors, they are just my neighbors. They are just very loud. Okay, let's start. Really quick. I read 16 books this month and they were really good. I am really happy about it. My goal is 8 books a month. So 16, I double my goal. And right now I'm 17 books ahead of my goal of the year. I have 3 books that I have 3 letters that I need to, no 3, 4. I have J, Q, X, and Z. If you have any suggestions, please let me know over there in the comments. I really would like to know what can I read, because I've been trying to figure it out and so far I haven't found anything, at least that I like. This is updated 41 books as to right now. And then my book bingo, I was able to finish 2 bingos so far, 1 horizontal and 1 vertical, so I'm very happy about it. I think I'm more worried about the dystopian that could happen. I'm trying to find a book about that. I read one at the beginning of the year, but I put it as oh my god, a book adapted into a movie TV, and it was a Station 11. So I have to see what can I find for this one. I think I have one, so fingers crossed. My Colleen Hoover fan club, I only read 1 book and it was Maybe Not so far. And then on my book talk checklist, I was able to read When in Rome this past month, and I'm glad my mom died as well. And this is the 2022 Goodreads Choice Awards, and I was able to mark this one, I'm glad my mom died, and The Daughter of Dr Moreau. I hope I'm saying it right. I think I am. I'm not sure. Very good books, and they were books that they win the Goodreads Choice Awards, so I was very happy about it, to read them and really like them. The Q1 bingo for the Bad Bitch book club, I finished it already, but I finished it on February, so now they posted the Q2, so I was able to print it and get it all ready. My neighbors are so loud. I also have my monthly challenge, and I had to read a biography. In fact, I read 4 biographies last month, and the one that I chose for my monthly challenge was the first one that I read in the month, and it is one of the books that I love. Like it's one of my favorite books so far of the year, and it's called Finding Me. This month of April I have to read a historical fiction one, so let's see what we have in mind. Okay, then you'll remember that ugly page that I have for the 50 books in 52 weeks. Well, I changed it, and finally I can say this is working. So I rename it and I put 50 books in a year, because I'm gonna put this on my Etsy shop, and I put the lines and I put the prompts here. I changed like 2-3 prompts, I think, because those prompts were very difficult, and then I had made some mistakes when I was spelling, and I didn't know like where the original prompts were from. So yeah, I had to change it. And so far I read, I think if I'm not mistaken, 27. So I'm ahead of my game right now because we are in just week 13 of the year. So even if I don't finish this, I will feel accomplished. I think I did pretty good. So I will do it next year, and whatever prompt I didn't do, also I will roll it back for the next year. And then I created this just for fun. It's called Diversify Your Reading Challenge, and I just put different genres. And I have read a couple of these other ones like fiction and contemporary fiction, and but I didn't want to write it down because I want to see what else can I put from the following months. This will not be on my Etsy shop. On my trackers, I'm so excited because I read, out of the 31 days, I only skipped 5 days. And I skipped these days because I was traveling, and I actually read this day, so I should put it down. So it's not even 5 days, it is 3 days, and I can find it. Okay, so I read the second. So I have, out of the 31 days, I have 4 days that I didn't read, so it's great. So I am super excited about that. This one, I barely touch it. I only mark When in Rome as a book that I currently own and I haven't read. And then this is my daughter tracker that I have, and she read another book, so she has one more book, fingers crossed, so she can get a small sketchbook and reach her first goal. And my to be read list for Black History month, I added one more book, You Made a Fool of Dead with Your Beauty, as an audiobook that I read. And then I just created this one, and it will be on my Etsy shop. And I love it because I really wanted to do something for some of the writers that I like, and I want to know like all their books that they read, and I want to see how many I have read. This is going to be updated next month, so stay tuned with that. And there's like another page with other writers also as well. So we have, really quick, we have Catherine Center, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Sarah Adams, Emily Henry, Avi Jimenez, Ali Hazelwood, Elle Cosimano, and Ruth Ware. If you have any other writers that you want me to put on, let me know and I will be happy to make more. They had already made suggestions, some of my friends, so I'm gonna continue making more of this with all the writers' books. This is my reading 100 books. This reading 100 books, you can find it at Plan with Elise. I will put every link on the bottom page, on the description below. And so far we are here. Look, we're almost done with the second shelf. We can do this. And let's just go to the books that I read. The first book that I read is called Amantes Lovers, and was a short poetry book that I got on a wine tasting for my sister's wedding when I went to Peru. And it was a really nice gift that they made to us as a wedding favor. And so we went to this cute bookstore that they also serve wine, and they pair it with cheese. And I was so happy to be able to experience that and reading it all at the same time. Great experience. I recommend it. If you know of any bookstores that they do that here in the States, let me know. I will be like happy to know where I can find one of those here, because I haven't. And I would love to go to one of those. It doesn't matter what part in the States, let me know. Or even if it's not in the States, let me know. Like, I would like to see what you guys have. Okay, so the second book that I read, and I gave it 5 stars. The second book that I read was The World's Best Man. This is a story about a wedding planner that she doesn't get married because her fiance stands her up, and he blames his brother. Some years pass by, and she is in she wants to work for this hotel, and for that she has to pair up with an advertising company, and she has to compete with another wedding planner. So this advertising company has two people that they send out. One is the fiance, the ex-fiance, and the other one is the ex-brother-in-law. So she gets paired with the ex-brother-in-law, and a lot of things happen. And it was a cute book. A lot of Brazilian, I think it's Brazilian, like, yeah, culture is involved in here. A lot of like recipes, or sometimes talking in Portuguese. And it was a cute book, but yeah, it was fine. Not, I thought I was gonna be laughing when I was reading this. Like, the title made me think about that, but it wasn't like that. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Witches, according to this book, they are not supposed to be together. They can only get together once a month in a society. And this young witch is a YouTuber, and she disguised as a witch YouTuber. So she pretends she does some potions and all this stuff, until one person sends her an email saying that, you know, she wants her to go to her house, and because she wants her to be like a tutor for 3 kids. Well, these 3 kids were witches just like her, and she gets in a lot of like ups and downs with these kids, especially with one of them. There's kind of like a romantic situation with one of the guardians. Overall, 3 stars. Finding Me was my favorite book of the month, and it is by Viola Davis, and it's her autobiography, and it was on Oprah's book club. And I have to say, this woman went through so much through her life. She was living in a town that it was like a very people with low income. People were living next to rats, you know, and she didn't had like clothes or what to eat sometimes. And it was, she had a hard life, but she decided that she didn't want that for her, and she worked hard, and she worked every obstacle to be who she is now. There's a lot of triggers of physical abuse. There it is cancer. The dad has cancer, and she tells it in a part of the book. What else? It can be, there is a rape involved, so just be aware when you read this that you're gonna have some triggers. The Switch was a book that it was recommended, and I really wanted to read it, so I patiently waited, and I don't know why I even give it 3.5 stars. I just have to be honest with you. I don't even know why. I don't remember. What I remember is this is a story about a grandma and a granddaughter, and they both switch places. So the grandma goes to London, and the granddaughter goes to Yorkshire. And the grandma arc of the story was the most interesting part, because she started to date, and she dates like 3 people, and realized it, like, she didn't even realize that one of them was scamming her, that it wasn't even a real person around her age, that's what she was looking for. And she meets new friends and everything. I liked it better than the granddaughter. The granddaughter was very bitter about her mom, and she blamed her mom about her sister's death. her sister's dead, I'm sorry. So the triggers here are cancer. The sister died of cancer, and we talk about that, like they talk a lot about that a lot, and depression. So just watch out for in that part. I just didn't like it that much in the part that, I think that's why probably I gave it 3.5 stars, because I like the grandma arc of the story more than the granddaughter. And the grandma wasn't supposed to be like the biggest character. It was supposed to be the granddaughter. But okay. Love in Other Words, I give it 5 stars. And it is written by Christina Lauren. Actually, I found out that these are 2 writers. Christina is one and Lauren is the other one. Isn't that amazing? I didn't even know that. So this is about the 2 kids that they meet when they are young, and they became friends because of their love of books. And every time they will see each other, they will ask what was their favorite word, and they will see each other like every summer only. And it's a story about, like, your first love, and how sometimes your first love becomes your only love. And so they break up when they are around 18, and then they don't see each other until she is on her late 20s. And he tells her that he still loves her, and that's how the story unfolds. A very beautiful book, and I love the quote that it's like the end of the book. Favorite word, he whispers, I don't even hesitate, you. Beautiful. I love it. Beyond the One, it's the story of Tom Felton. It's his autobiography, and it was the second autobiography that I read. And I like what it says. The only true currency we have in life is the effect we have on those around us. He talks about his life when he started acting, his life during Harry Potter, all the 8 films, all these little anecdotes that happen with all different characters. And he reads it like if he's having a conversation with you, and it was something that I loved about him. Then he talks about his life after Harry Potter and the aftermath of being famous, and how fame affected him and led him to be depressed, and and how he was able to get out of that hole. Beautiful book about it. I 100% recommend this. Just the Nicest Couple. I read Mary Kubica before, and the book was A Local Woman Missing, and it was a good mystery. So I was really excited to read this one because I really thought I was gonna like it. And it's about 2 couples, they're friends, and one of them disappears, and then you don't know if that person is dead, and you don't know who killed, like, you think you know who killed him, but you won't know until the end. So I think that's why I gave it 3 stars, because if not, I would have given it 2 stars, because the end was like, oh my god, I cannot believe it. But that's pretty much it. I will recommend Local Woman Missing better if you want to start Mary Kubica. The Villa is by Rachel Hawkins, and it was a really good mystery thriller. It's about 2 friends that they are friends since they are kids, and they decide to go to Italy, to this villa where a murder happened in the 70s. And everybody thinks that the mystery was solved about how, this person died, but you don't really know what happens. And things start happening for these women, and they found out the truth about the story. And then another thing happened on top of it, and it was like a complete, this is amazing. The end was, it was too much. Okay, the next book is Spare by Prince Harry. So mixed reviews by a lot of people. I gave it 2 stars. Overall, I wasn't happy about what I read. There were 410 pages of him saying, it's not my fault, it's always my dad's fault. Camila's fault, my brother's fault, never him. And I really didn't like it because even though I'm sure there's some truth in his book, there's a bunch of stuff that it has been proven that is being false in his book. And Meghan Markle doesn't appear up to the end, which I think it was good. You can tell he's completely in love with her, but every page I think that I was reading, she was crying. So it was like one after the other after the other. I don't know, very exhausting. Okay, the next book, it was another autobiography, and it was my fourth autobiography. Actually, I read 5. I didn't even realize. And it's called I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And you've probably seen her or heard about her. She is a Nickelodeon star, and she was on iCarly and Sam and Cat. And my daughter loves Sam and Cat. She will watch that, and I will be like, I don't want you to watch that. It's super silly. It makes no sense. And I always thought her character was very angry. And I thought that was just the character, but you can tell when you read this book that that's not the case. And yeah, the title, it is a little bit rough. But I have to say, the reason why she did that, it was because her mom was killing her slowly with the way that she was treating her and controlling her. If her mom hadn't died, she probably would have been dead at this point. She doesn't say that explicitly on the book, but it's kind of something that you realize. A lot of triggers. Please be very careful with this book, not only because of the mom dying with cancer and the extent that she describes it when her mom gets cancer the second time, but there's anorexia and bulimia involved, depression, there is also manipulation from the from the mother to the husband and to the kids. It's a lot. Just please beware with this. But I have to say, it was a well done book, and it makes you rethink about like when you're a mom and what are you doing, and also when you're a daughter and how you are lucky. I was lucky, at least, to say that I had a good mom that treat me with respect, and she loved me unconditionally. You made a fool of that with your beauty. So I have to say, this book has to be the craziest book I have read so far. And I read this book because I saw that Plan with Elise had read it, and I was like, she gave it a good review. Let me just read it and see how it is. And I also needed a book with a letter Y, so that's why I read it. Oh my god, this book is crazy. So this is a girl that, gets, she marries her high school sweetheart, and he dies in a car crash where they were both in a car. But she survives, she's okay, and she blames herself for everything, and she cannot fully move on. So it passed 5 years, and she finally goes to a party. She hooks up with a guy that she doesn't even know, and then they start kind of dating. It was more like a friends with benefits relationship, and that's when she meets and the friend of this other guy, and they become friends and everything. She breaks up with the first guy officially, and this guy tells her that they can start slow, they can be friends, and that he wants to invite her to the house where his dad lives in an island. They don't tell you which island. She goes there, and guess what happens? She falls in love with the dad. What is wrong with this? So she falls completely in love with the dad. So there's a whole discussion on Google Reads about this. There's some people that they're gonna be pro the love of the father and her, and other ones are gonna be against, and it's like crazy. It was a good book overall, and I like it. And the title, I understood it. I think I understood it today what he meant. And she is a painter, and she portrays death and anger and sadness through her paintings, and they are beautiful. So that's why the title is that. At least that's what my interpretation of it is. Okay, the next one is Maybe Not. This was a very, very small book, and I read it in like 3.5 hours. I did it as an audiobook while I was at the nail salon doing these nails. And this proves that you can read an audiobook, but you can listen to an audiobook wherever you want. And I really enjoy it. It's kind of in the middle of the same timeline with Maybe Someday, but it's about the other two characters, Warren and Bridget. And so and how he falls in love with her and how she falls in love with him. Yeah, very short, very spicy. Just read it. It's Colleen Hoover. When in Rome, I gave it 4 stars. So it says here that I started March 1st and I finished it the 29th of March. I have to be honest, I probably open the page and look at it and then I close it, because I put the date that I start on my Goodreads. And I didn't, and then when I came back from my trip, I think I read like 3 pages, and then I didn't touch it because in all honesty, I forgot about it. And then when I finally grabbed it, it was, I think, the 28th or the 27th of March, and I read it that fast. And this book is about this pop star that she's exhausted of everything, and she goes to Rome, Kentucky, because she wanted to go to Rome, Italy, but she couldn't do all that stuff. So it was easy to go to Rome, Kentucky. And she's driving this old car that it was her first car, and the car breaks in the front lawn of this grumpy but super handsome pie maker. And the story is about them two falling in love, him trying not to fall in love, her trying not to fall in love. A very good book. There's 0 sex scenes here. I think like it builds it up, and then it's like a behind door kind of sex. So it's not a Colleen Hoover type. It's very, very innocent. I think it's a good book to read. I really enjoyed it. I was laughing with like through all the books. Sarah Adams is a really, really nice writer. I was like just laughing. She was hilarious. And the last 2 books of my month of March are The Daughter of Dr Moreau. So this is a spin-off of Dr Moreau's Island. And if you haven't heard from him, believe me, I didn't too also. So I had to Google it. And Dr Moreau is a character from a book. And what he did is he created hybrids. So they were half man, half animal. And they live in an island. So now Silvia Moreno Garcia adapted this book for it to be in Mexico, in a small town of Mexico. And Dr. Moreau lives with his daughter and lives with his butler and his hybrids. And he created hybrids so he could give the owner of the hacienda, that's the house where they live, as part of workers for the farms and the lands. And it happens a year pass, and the son of the owner of the hacienda goes, and he falls in love with the daughter. So the son went to the hacienda with a cousin, and the cousin was against them getting married. So he sends a letter to his dad, and then you find out a lot of things, and he was like, oh my god. So at the end, it's like, it makes you think, was Dr. Moreau a genius, or he was crazy? I think he was crazy, but that's what I think. 4 stars that book. Very, very good book. And if you have the chance to do it as an audiobook, I completely recommend you to do it like that. That's how I did it, and I love it. The narrator does so many voices. She does like a French voice, like a more like a Mexican of that era voice, that it's like more like with more accent. And then she does like female voices and male voices, and it's amazing. The last book is From Scratch, a memoir of love, Sicily, and finding home. And if you haven't heard from this book, I don't know what's going on. You should have probably seen this on Netflix. And or just, well, even if you were just going around Netflix, you had to encounter this one. So From Scratch was a book from Tembi Locke. Tembi Locke is an actress, and she lost her husband from a strange cancer. That at first he had it on his knee, and then he went into remission, and after some years he went to his lungs, and ultimately that killed him. And so a lot of triggers here about cancer patients, kids not having parents, parents fighting with their kids. The parents were upset with him for him getting married with a black woman, and not only that she was an American black woman, and that he had to leave Italy because that's where they met. So it's a lot of cultural things going on here. Overall, it's a very, very nice book. And if you haven't watched the Netflix miniseries, I recommend you to watch it, but get your tissues on the side because you're gonna cry. I couldn't stop crying. I watched it with my husband, and we were both tearing up at one point. Okay, and then let's just go really quick to my monthly review on how many pages. 4,485 pages read for this month. I am so excited. So almost the double of the amount of February, and a little bit less than January, but still good. I'm very happy. My book of the month, Finding Me, like I said. And this is my March at a glance, where I put like reading goals and new releases of the month, and how I was reading. I never finished and updating it. Let's update it really quick, just for the sake. I didn't finish this. That's it. That's all we had to do. And the only thing that I didn't do on my reading goals was that I had to read 3 books from my TBR list. I only read, so I'm gonna put partial. So I only read 1 on that one. I have it ready for April, and this one I have to read 8 books. So let's see what happens also again. So now let's go to this one. So that was February. Let's recap. 8 months we're gonna do this. January, a lot of books. February, a little bit less books. March, a ton of books that we read. So exciting, right? So this is it. This is for today. I hope you like it. If you like it, please give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all of you guys. And also go to Neat Planches page and check out her reading review for the month of March. And as always, thank you and have a great day. Bye.